Welcome, Sagittarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your December general reading. There is a full moon happening in Gemini on the 7th, and the new moon in Capricorn is happening on the 23rd of the month. I will be doing separate readings for those. However, they are included in this timeline, so I will mention them. This is a general reading, so it's not going to resonate for all of you. I do encourage you to look at your sun, moon, rising sign, any placement that's significant to you for a fuller message. If this does resonate for you, please like and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I thank all of you that do, and it is deeply appreciated. Let's get started with your overall energy for December, Sagittarius. We have the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is indicating that you are being recognized for your efforts. You are not at the end of a long struggle, and it has been a struggle to make some ground in an area of employment, a project, some activity that involves a large community of others. You may be a leader, and you have certainly been damaged along the way, but you have been recognized and rewarded for the victory that you have managed to eke out of a very challenging situation. And this recognition is the reward that is critical to you at this time. You are at a critical juncture in this project. You're at the central fulcrum point where you're really looking for that balance in terms of the effort put in and the reflection in the community that it is impacting. In the 10th house, the house of your social identity, another six, a Six of Swords. This shows you really moving away from a chaotic situation, perhaps a place where you haven't felt heard. There is a lot of noise, and you are trying to make a contribution, trying to contribute to a solution to a problem. However, you are not really being heard or listened to, so that at this point you really recognize that in order to continue on this path, and this may be relevant to the possibly employment situation where you are being recognized, what you're also recognizing is that another situation, a less chaotic situation, may provide you with the support that you need to not only solve the problem, but to gain peace and acceptance as to why it has been so challenging in this situation. This can be anything from recognizing that you've done as much as you can in a particular job. This can be moving in with housemates or housemates moving out and you finding a different living situation that really frees you up to focus on your own activities more clearly. The first house is the Ten of Swords, and this is where your focus is right now. I would imagine that your focus is almost entirely on the way in which you can make improvements to an important activity. This is your business, you structuring a business, you improving, you finding new ways to create services or products, but you are by and large looking for answers, learning new things as you move forward in looking to ways to improve upon what you do. The fourth house, the house of your home, your unconscious, the Sun card, is the beautiful card that indicates that you are centered in your happiness. You are embracing your gifts, your talents, and this is what is motivating you more deeply than anything else, so that the individual circumstances where you are meeting challenges are not daunting to you. However, you are recognizing with the King of Swords just how much that you have actually learned and that you are willing to engage in, carefully learning in order to improve and express yourself more clearly and more fully. This is you seeking communication, really opening up to ways to be happy, all the ways that are at your fingertips. The seventh house, the Knight of Cups, and this is indicating that you again are questing around your capacity for love. This is you questing in your growth of relationships, wanting to expand, looking at partners that might have been unlikely in the past. And this is an area of particular highlight in the beginning of the month with the full moon in Gemini. You are having an opportunity for conversations with partners, past partners, good friends, loved ones around the ways in which you have grown and now recognized that you may be questing for a different kind of partnership than you have in the past. I'm going to clarify the King of Swords in the first house with the Six of Cups in the second house and the Seven of Swords in the third house. The new moon in Capricorn is lighting up your second house. This is the house of your possessions and your values, the things you own and the things you value. So this is also your sense of aesthetics. Six of Cups is all about balance. It's all about fairness. It's all about equity. It's all about distributing the excess of resources that you have particular access to and that you recognize you can share. The Six of Cups is again really talking about your relationships. And with the new moon in Capricorn, I'm sensing that you are going to be really understanding that it is this new relationship that you have birthed with yourself, putting your happiness, the expression of your creative talents and skills, that is helping you to understand the needs of partners, the authentic needs of your partners and loved ones. The Seven of Swords is also helping you to understand the ways in which gossip, unkind words, deceitful betrayals, misaligned information, miscommunication has perhaps stunted your development in the past, has wounded you deeply, and really impacted your ability to focus on what it is that would make you happy. You're now recognizing the source of this kind of communication from others as being a reflection of those damaged souls, those fearful souls that are unhappy as you move forward and progress, quite possibly away from them, from their control, from their enjoyment, their desire to possess you and not see you get ahead of them. You are recognizing this and meeting it with compassion rather than the kind of internalized shaming that this may have triggered in you in the past, Sagittarius. The Sun in the fourth house is clarified by the Lovers in the fifth house and the Page of Swords in the sixth house. You have a decision to make. This decision is between your own greatest desires and perhaps something that a partner or a spouse could be offering you. This can also be a decision that is not reflective of your relationships, but ultimately reflects on the relationship you have with yourself. And this is where you have learned to discriminate between those opportunities that serve you and those that don't. It also means that there is a partner, this can be somebody from your past, who is a friend, a truly connected friend to you. The purpose of this relationship may have been in the past a relationship where you learned something from each other, or you came into the lives of one another to learn something. And through that lesson shared, whether it was shared successfully or not, whether that endured your relationship or not, you will always be bonded as friends as the result of this connection, this relationship. And you may have an opportunity to have a conversation about that, to discuss it, to share ideas about what you learned, what you might like to learn, how your lives have been impacted by this relationship. But this friend is there to support you. You're also really curious about your relationships, which is not, I won't say that this is something that I associate with Sagittarius. This is something I associate perhaps more with Gemini. But you are detaching yourself from your feelings. And for you, Sagittarius, it's this eternal optimism where you almost a Pollyanna sense that everything is wonderful, everything is fine, you're completely accepting of whatever treatment or that you are given, you are accepting. You are curious, you suspend your judgment even when you are being dismissed as inconsequential, not being taken seriously. Now you have the faith and the confidence in your ability to choose yourself, to know what is good for you so that you can talk about it, ask questions about it, and this could be from a significant friend or lover from the past. The Knight of Cups in the 7th house is clarified by the 2 of Cups, and the 8th house and the 8 of Wands in the 9th house. So interesting that deep connection is coming up because the 2 of Cups is really an outgrowth of your ability to understand the reality and the strength of a relationship from your past. I'm strongly picking up a friendship. It may not have ever been more than a friendship, a platonic relationship, whatever, or it may have been a desirous partnership that never coalesced, never worked out, never met its promise or potential. However, you are in conversation with this person. You are understanding how much you've grown from this encounter, from this friendship in the past, and how that you are now ready for this connection in some way that is coming towards you rapidly. You may be in touch with this person from a great distance. It's suddenly you have been apart for most of this relationship. That's my sense. And if this was a long distance relationship, it was not necessarily very fulfilling as such. And as long distance relationships go, it was more of a friendship, one that could not grow past a friendship because of the great distance between you. That was a huge obstacle. There were also lots of people who talked about you as a couple, as an item, as individuals and together. There's something rather scandalous or that provoked envy or jealousy from people when they thought of the two of you together in the past. And in many ways, it is the way in which you were treated by others as a result of this relationship in the past that still remains with you, that is difficult for you to shake. And that is something that you are aware. That's why you are being curious. That's why you're detaching from your emotions around these experiences from the past, because you were so mired in the amount of attention you got, even though I don't sense there was a lot of public exposure of your relationship. I get the feeling it was kind of back alley, back door, down low, but it was still known and it was still remarked upon in very hurtful ways to you. The Six of Swords in the 10th house is clarified by, come on now, oh dear, the Eight of Cups in the 11th house and the Devil card in the 12th house. You have moved away from a scenario that reflects on the conditions of this friendship from earlier times. Those relationships melted away, those people that envied you, that maybe noted you, saw you, knew of you, that admired you, recognized your accomplishments, the accomplishments of both of you, but you have moved away from that entire circle, that community where this was talked about, this was seen, this was observed. And you have recognized that the actions of this tribe, not all of the tribe or community that this was a part of, but the actions of the tribe you rejected. You recognized that this was not a community that was willing to nurture you, to support you. What you have fallen back upon was a very conventional set of expectations that you believed were reinforcing the relationship, the friendship that you had, and also the limitations of that, so that the ways in which this friendship did not conform were ways that you felt you had erred in some way. You had gone outside of the conventions, the rules of relationships in a way that you felt punished for or penalized for in the dissipation of this relationship. You are recognizing now that you are in control of your choices, that you are only bonded to people that you choose, and you are choosing yourself consistently now, Sagittarius. You are rejecting the idea of compatibility based on some external factors that someone else may control. This relationship was somehow unconventional. There's an age difference, there's a cultural difference. Something about this relationship not only was magnetic to you, but is something that is generally not accepted. I'm going to finish off this reading with the flora and fauna of Africa. This message was very specific, and I hope it was helpful and resonated with some of you. I've pulled the black rhinoceros, and the key word is clear perspective. Change your perspective, look more closely. There's much to appreciate around you. I'm going to leave it here, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for our reading. I hope it's been helpful. Until next time, Namaste.